harmonious society, you have to have shared values, and you have to come together.
And that is happening.
And it is not happening.
Oh, I love you more than words can say.
Yo, my beautiful people, it's your boy Shae, the one and the only, guys, and today we are back again. We are back with more interesting videos. Okay, today guys, we're going to check out Woman Told we do not have shared values in heated immigration debates. Okay, so without saying too much, guys, we are going to get this one started, but make sure you smash like, subscribe, share this video. Okay guys, I'm racing to 1 million, guys. Let's hit 1 million subscribers. Let's go. First of all, I'm going to subscribe, I'm going to like the alternative view.
Harmonious society, you have to have shared values, and you have to come together.
And that is happening.
And it is not happening. We have got multi-ethnic silos, ghettos developing right across the United Kingdom.
Exactly what he said is so very spot on. Exactly.
This recent debate I'll show you at the end was about immigration, and it absolutely boiled my blood. This woman, Fatima Mohammed, who was born in South Africa, is absolutely insufferable. The stuff she comes out with exposes her contempt for our nation. Luckily, the Reform Party's deputy leader, Ben Habib, is great and more than puts her in her place in this heated debate. I was really impressed with him here. I'd vote for him. This woman admits she came here for equal opportunities. Then she says any clash of cultures is down to the indigenous people's prejudice. In other words, we're all coming here with our own customs and cultures, and the responsibility is with you to mould your customs and culture to fit in with those immigrants.
Oh my god. That is the definition of invasion. Now when I say invasion, I'm not necessarily talking about going to another country to the military to like take over the place. There's something also called invasion of space. You can invade someone's space, all right? But this one right here, it is the definition of invasion, because she's bringing a foreign culture to knock out a local culture.
Absolute cheek. Then, even worse, she said anyone who doesn't is an uneducated, untravelled bigot who doesn't understand the world. According to her, the higher educated you are, the more you will accept immigration. Well, the higher educated you are, the more you will earn, and the less you'll be affected by mass immigration. As usual, it's the poor people who bear the brunt of it. That is like me being made homeless tomorrow and someone kindly takes me into their house, and then I show my gratitude by demanding they redecorate their house to my...
Oh my days. You know what? I paused this too quickly. I'm going to take this back. This is so very spot on what he's saying.
That is like me being made homeless tomorrow and someone kindly takes me into their house, and then I show my gratitude by demanding they redecorate their house to my liking. Anyone who does that has no respect for those who have taken them in.
Yes.
Any sane country would do well not to take them in the first place. You don't need me to spell out how that works out for any nation if they take in enough people like that. The fact is, we are a very tolerant country.
Yes.
But it is for the
indeed.
people moving here to adapt to our customs and culture, not the other way around.
This country is very tolerant. This is the definition of taking one's kindness for weakness. Like, you're very tolerant.
This is the only home we have, and it belongs to us. It's not just a piece of land where anyone can come and set up a colony.
Yes, sir.
Ben points out we have a third world, low-skilled economy based on importing people. And that undercuts British workers, who according to her are all lazy and don't want to work anyway. She replies this:
I think it's about just people in generally who are not really willing to work. At the end of the day, we have a lot of people that want to come here to build their lives. They actually don't want to leave their homes. They don't actually choose to.
We're not talking about people.
Again, the absolute cheek. That's not our problem. We didn't ask them to come here.
Oh my God. Nobody asked you to come here. Nobody asked me, Shady Shae. Nobody asked me to come here. I came on my own accord. I saw a way of life. I saw a culture. I learnt it, and I'm still learning it. I've had this channel for a long time, but recently, about 4 weeks ago, I decided to share my journey of learning the British history, the British culture, the British way of life, and showing the whole world this beautiful country and this beautiful city that I love with all my heart. All right? I'm sharing it with everybody that follows me. Did anybody ask me to? No. This is my little way of giving back. And of course, I pay tax too, so I give back. Respect the laws, I give back. I came and I accepted the way of life here. That's what I did. No one asked me to come. So if they don't want to come here, they don't come. They don't have to come. They can stay where they are.
She's talking like they are doing us a favour for our benefit by coming here. Yeah, right. This debate exposes the level of entitlement and gross lack of respect some of these people moving here have for us.
Yes, sir.
It now seems it is the British people who no one respects. We're becoming second-class citizens in our own country. Here's the full debate. Take a listen to this.
Okay, before I play this debate, before I play it, I need to say this. Yeah, I need to say this. When I first came to this country, many immigrants here were telling me, that this country, yes, there's a lot of money, but their country is better than here, their country is better than here, they don't really like it here, their country is better. Then I was like, I turned around, I looked at them, I didn't even know them. I was like, if your country is better than this country, why didn't you go back? They looked at me like, well, you're not from here. I said, that's not the point. You won't hear me saying my country is better than this. You understand? You go to a country, you don't like it, leave.
Oh, well, let's debate that with Deputy Leader of Reform UK, Ben Habib, and broadcaster and commentator Fatima Mohammed. Good to see you both this morning. Ben, what do you think? I sort of expect I know what you're going to say.
Well, I don't think it's spiralling out of control. I think it has spiraled out of control, hasn't it? You know, we've had, if you look at the gross numbers, not the net numbers, people always talk about the gross numbers, but from a social fabric perspective of this country, you have to look at what's happening to the underlying constituency of the United Kingdom. And in the last 3 years, we've had something like 3.5 million immigrants come to the UK. That's 5% of the United Kingdom's population. That's a massive turnaround. And the social fabric of the country is bound to be tested with such dramatic movement in people. In the last 25 years, I think we've had more migration to the United Kingdom than we'd had in all of history before that. And I'm not against migration. The interaction of, indigenous British people, for want of a better description, and people from different cultural backgrounds, different heritages, is a very healthy thing. Societies can only evolve and become stronger and better if they have diversity of thought and if they have to interact with people from different backgrounds. But what we've had is unbridled migration at a rate where cultures are not being absorbed into the UK, and as a result, multiculturalism has not become an assimilation of what is best for the strengthening of a homogeneous society. What we've got is multiculturalism being operated in multiple silos across the UK without integration. And I think, we saw...
He knows what he's talking about. Right now, I feel like I can vote for this guy. If he goes for any political post, look, I think I am going to vote for this guy because he's got a head. His head sits very well on his neck. Come on. Why don't people want to integrate?
Saw this in France earlier this year when an Algerian young man was shot in Paris by the police. And And France went up in a blaze of inter-ethnic violence from Marseille all the way to Calais. And unless we're careful, that's going to come to the United Kingdom. We're much less likely to do it. We're much sort of more docile people, as it were, than the French, as we all know. But, you know, that is my big fear. Then, of course, there's all
okay,
the...
well, let's get a word in.
Okay, I think it depends who you ask when it comes to migration, and I think that we have had recent studies and articles in September from the Migration Observatory in Oxford University stating that the higher educated you are, that you would actually be okay with immigration, because it's depending on how you look at it, from which aspect, whether you're looking at it from the race that you allow into this country, whether it's the skilled, whether when we talk about integration, we have so many people that are working in the UK that are highly educated and integrated. In fact, 3/4 of the UK is owned, probably the land even on this building is probably owned by foreigners and immigrants. So that's not an issue. I think that the actual issue is that it's not about the amount of people that are here. It's about why is it a problem that there is the people that are here when it comes to certain maybe minorities, certain cultures and backgrounds.
Well, we've allowed them in.
What's she saying? Is she trying to say she's against integration? So basically, she's trying to say that if you're wealthy, if you're rich, you'll be affected by mass immigration, right? But if you're poor, you'll be affected. So she's already separated the classes. What Ben Habib is saying is integration. He's just saying people need to come here and integrate, accept the culture that's here. Obviously, bring in your different thoughts and perspective on things. Yeah, introducing them to the UK, but we need to have a homogeneous community. We need to have a culture that will evolve. Yes, there is a home culture, yeah, but then the culture can adapt and add a few things to it, you know, to make it more interesting, more vibrant, all right? But the culture can still survive without, okay? But having cultures clashing,
I mean, these are legal migrants, aren't they? We're talking about.
But even the illegal ones, we always brush that all under the same sort of, carpet to say that, when we talk about immigration, it's always about the people that are coming from the boats and they're coming here illegally and they're coming to use it. At the end of the day, we've got to look at also our foreign policy. We've got to look at the cause as to why these things are actually
happening. Well, look, we had Mel Stride saying that that the government accepts that it is the figures are too high.
Maybe it's also to do with the processing of the actual...
Well, absolutely, but that's what I was going to say. He says on the one hand that, in fact, you put that point to him, didn't you? He says the figures are too high, but these are legal migrants that our rules have allowed in. So why they're too high? Because it must be his fault.
Well, the government, in, I think, a false pursuit of sustaining GDP and an inability to fix our own broken labour market, has thrown open the doors to low-skilled work. If you look at the minimum wage that you need to achieve in order to get a work visa, it's £26,000. That's more than 20% less than the median wage of the average British worker. So the effect of that is effectively to undercut British workers, keep a lid on wages, give British workers who are already being taxed to hell with a government that's effectively bust, no real incentive to come to work because they don't get adequately paid. We are operating a third world economic, low-skilled economy. There's no impetus for upskilling, for automation, for moving the economy from that sort of low-skilled base into what we should be.
That's not an immigration problem. I think it's about just people in generally who are not really willing to work. At the end of the day, we have a lot of people that want to come here to build their lives. They actually don't want to leave their homes. They don't actually choose to.
We're not talking about people who are...
At the end of the day, regardless of who you think you're talking about, when we are talking about these things about, it's giving more opportunity to the underskilled and taking away jobs from, the people that really need it, it's really...
No, it's not about who needs it.
The trouble is, there are so many different facets to this.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but can I just ask, because we're out of time, technically, I want to ask you both, just briefly, Fatima, in terms of the integration issue, would there be fewer problems in the UK with how we perceive migration if people came in, ended up being more like Ben, because presumably your heritage with a name like Habib, somewhere down the line.
I mean,
but Ben, obviously, if you don't mind me saying, is very sort of westernised.
Well, my mother's born and bred United Kingdom. My father's born and bred Pakistan. So I'm half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, I am born and bred in South Africa, coming from an apartheid state when I was a child, and coming here, for equal opportunities in the West. So we can't just say, just because I look and be in a particular way, you probably won't even assume that I actually was born and bred in South Africa. It's got nothing to do with that. I think integration is about the fact that we just have our own prejudice and we just don't know how to actually understand the world better. And if you're well educated and well traveled, you'll realize
I think that's totally underestimating the extent of the
bias.
No, it's not.
It is, because you
not
have
at all.
From a particular thought and frame of mind, then you were obviously going to say,
and this
you
is,
know what, this is how
and this is where the whole point about interacting with other cultures is for diversity of thought. And what you've just tried to do is shut down discussion.
Why do they like to shut down a discussion? Like, you're talking, yeah, we're debating. Don't shut me down. You've got a point. Speak your point. I can listen to you, but you're trying to shut him down. I'm telling you, I'm on his side, okay? He is half Pakistani, half English. His dad, born and bred in Pakistan. His mom, born and bred England, right? But his pattern of thought, yeah, it's not about where you're from. It's the pattern of thought, all right? The pattern of thought. I'm very much with him, okay? I'm very much with him because I don't understand where she's talking from, bro.
This is how,
and this is where the whole point about interacting with other cultures is for diversity of thought. And what you've just tried to do is shut down discussion. What you're trying to say is, if you're not prepared, can I finish? What you're saying is, if you're not prepared to accept our views in our culture, the way we express them, then it's you. Then it's you who's being bigoted.
We come here and we abide by the law of the land. No one's saying it's got to be our way.
But no one's suggesting you're not abiding by the law of the land. What I'm suggesting is that for a homogeneous, harmonious society, you have to have shared values and you have to come together.
And that is happening.
And it is not happening. We have got multi-ethnic silos, ghettos developing right across the United Kingdom. We saw it with the anti-Israeli marches. We saw it in Leicester a few months ago when ethnic Pakistanis kicked off against ethnic Indians.
This man, I'm going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for you. Calling a spade a spade. I'm going to vote for him.
Over a cricket match in which England wasn't even playing.
With every culture, every society.
No, we've got to.
It's not just about a minority issue.
No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. There is an outright assault on Western democracies from unbridled immigration all the way from Europe, the United Kingdom, and the United States.
It just seems like there's just West against the East.
No, it isn't.
Can she stop interrupting and cutting? Like, she said she was highly educated. Highly educated people don't just rudely interrupt someone mid-conversation. He's saying something, allow him to finish. Give him time to drop. Give him time to give that pause so she can chip in.
With certain cultures that are actually favoured more than the others.
It is.
Yes,
that is
exactly what it is.
That is trying
to.
Wait.
Did you say certain cultures are favoured more than others? Certain cultures. Is she trying to refer that the British culture is favoured more than others? Because if she's saying that, it is very wrong. Which means they want the other culture to take over the home culture. You don't say that, love.
The United States.
It just seems like there's just West against the East.
No, it is not.
With certain cultures that are actually favoured more than the others.
It is.
Yes,
that is
exactly what it
is. That is trying to introduce prejudice into a debate where no prejudice, at least in my mind, exists. This has got nothing to do.
You're the one that mentioned
this has got nothing.
Certain cultures and things. I didn't. You're the one that
I'm
said
talking about the necessity for shared values and a harmonious. No, we do not share values.
This is what debates are all about, and this is absolutely fascinating.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. You know what? She's full of herself. She definitely is full of herself. Okay, Ben Habib, he dropped the bomb. Okay, he hit the nail on the head very clearly. His points were very clear. All right, she felt like she was losing, and she didn't want to admit defeat. Okay, she didn't want to concede. Babes, not babes, madam, I'm sorry to say this. Actually, I'm sorry, not sorry. Yeah, you are wrong. You are wrong, and he is very right. All right, he is very right. It takes balls for a man to just sit down there and speak the truth in these days. Okay, what he said is true. There are so many little communities, little cultures here. What he said is so very spot on. He said we have multiculturalism being operated across the whole of the UK in multiple silos without integration. That is, without integration and assimilation. The community don't accept it. They don't accept the culture here, the way of life. Then why did they come? Why did they come? Because if you're not for us, you're against us. If you don't come to build together, then you come to help divide. Okay, we need to be together as one and build even a greater kingdom. All right. Yeah, I mean, he's spot on. It's true. Integration is a problem in this country right now. If people agree to integrate and assimilate, into the culture, and love this nation and decide to be loyal citizens, even though they are foreign born, but they decide to be loyal citizens, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland will be a much greater country, a much greater economy. But there's so much divisions. All these cultures clashing with the home culture. What is that? Anyway, guys, let's call a spade, okay? I'm always open to conversations. Please leave me some comments in the comment section, and I'm going to reply you. I'm going to check you out. I'm going to heart you, give you some love, okay? Thank you for all the love and support, okay? I just hope that integration will be preached out to the citizens and people that live here, so they know that, listen, you are here, you need to integrate, all right? You need to assimilate. You need to accept the way of life here, and then you can try to introduce yours, and then the diversity helps, like you said, when different cultures interact with each other. Yeah, that's amazing. But no, when you clash, no, don't clash. If you clash, you'll be seen as the enemy. 100%. Anyway, it's been your boy, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm going to catch you soon. This was a very interesting one. Peace out.
Oh, and I promise not to leave.